My top 5 beginners list in wholesaling real estate. Hey guys, Rick Ginn. Today I'm going to share with you the best 5 lists you need to start pulling right now to get your first wholesale deal. And I'll do you a favor, if you stay till the end, I'm going to give you a bonus list that nobody ever talks about it. But before I do it, do me a favor, make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button so other people can get the truth about wholesaling. Let's just get right into it. List number 1, which is the tried, the true, the one and only driving for dollars. I know it's not sexy. I know it's very basic, but there's a reason why it still works. This list worked 50 years ago, and honestly, it works incredibly in 2024. All you have to do is drive around and look in the areas where you're looking to buy properties, what we call your farm areas, and look for ugly houses. Now, what's an ugly house? Number 1, you don't need a course to tell you what an ugly house is. If it looks out of place and it looks odd, it's an ugly house. Does it have high grass? Does it have boarded up windows? Does it have a blue tarp? Does the house look vacant? Does it just look terrible? If it does, put it on your list. Once it's on your list, guys, it doesn't matter how you capture it. You can use the dmzack.com, the app to collect your driving for dollars, or you can simply write it down on a yellow piece of pad. Don't overcomplicate this. The more, the merrier. Drive around and get these lists. Now, guys, 10, 20 is not going to do it. You need hundreds of them. My recommendation, at least 150 a week. The reason for this is you have to play the numbers game, especially as a new wholesaler. And why I love the driving for dollars is, number 1, is these are what we call off-market lists. You can't even buy this list if you wanted to. At some point, someone's going to offer a paid-for-play driving for dollars list, but until that day comes up, it's up to you to get this list. Once you have this list, not only are you looking at the visual distress signals, but honestly, a lot of these properties are going to be in probate, they're going to be in pre-foreclosures, they're going to be in tax delinquency, and because you went out and put eyes on this, nobody else has this list. Honestly, I prefer this list because it's your own private list. Consider it your earned list because only you have the data and it's up to you to go out and market for it. In fact, I'd tell you a driving for dollars list of 400 to 500 properties versus any paid list you get, which still works, of say 5 or 10,000, your driving for dollars list is 10 times more powerful because you've put your eyes on it. Once you've physically seen the distress on it, you have the advantage. The question is, are you going to go out and get the quantity of driving for dollars? Do not overcomplicate this. Set a goal each week, go out and get it, take different routes and build this list. And what happens is over time, the more ugly houses you collect, the more opportunities you have. And as you become more effective on learning how to wholesaling, you will get better at this. And in the beginning, the more the merrier. Why? Because you're new to this. But if you're new to this, don't fret. Go over to freewholesaling.com. We teach you the driving for dollars method and all the other methods I'm about to share to you in this video. So go over to freewholesaling.com so you can get a jump start on your driving for dollars. I love driving for dollars because it is a list only you have, and you have a huge competitive advantage over all other wholesalers. The next one, number 2, comes in at code violations. This is tried and true. These have been around for over 50 years, and it is basically a compliance piece for a city you live in. The purpose of why code violations are created to keep everyone's property values on a level playing field. So if you have a neighbor next to you that's running a business out of it or painted their house like purple, or they let their grass grow high, or they constantly put up their hurricane shutters and never take them down, it's going to hurt the neighbor's property value. And this is why they've created code violations. When a violation is created, either a neighbor tells on you, like a Karen, or a city official drives by and notices and puts it down there. You get a notice in the mail, you get a notice on the door. You typically have 30 days to correct it, and if not, you can be imposed a lien on your property anywhere from $50 to $100 a day. It makes sense why nobody wants to be on the list. Now, keep in mind, guys, homeowners don't choose to go on this list. Life happens to them. Someone loses a job. There's a death in the family. Honestly, there's always a story behind it. Your job is to go out and connect and get this code violations list. Now, first of all, you got to understand this list is usually free. Sometimes you have to pay for it, but it's not the easiest list to get. So you're going to have to earn your keep in getting this list. Where do you get this list? Usually at your city office, usually near your city hall or next to the police department if you have a city office. Yes, there are county lists, but the city ones are going to be more specific. Once you get this list, you just cross-reference. You can skip trace the owner. You can go by, leave a note on their door. Reverse driving for dollars works real well in this technique, where you put a sticky sticky note on the door. Say, listen, got a quick question about your house, your name and your virtual phone number. Guys, code violation shows you where the smoke is. Where there's smoke, there's fire, and you do not want to miss out on these lists. In fact, I'm here to tell you, code violations really made me in my first 2 years of wholesaling. And here I am almost 22 years later, and I still do the code violations list. Why? Because it works, it's proven, and where there's smoke, there's fire. Guys, go out and get these code violations. Most people do not want to go out and get these lists because they think it's too much work. They get rejected. Remember, to overcome resistance, you have to beat it with persistence. Code violations are key to finding some of the most motivated sellers that you can get in your wholesaling business, and they are perfect as a new wholesaler. Coming in at number 3 is one of the easiest lists I think you can get is pre-foreclosure. This is basically a list you get at your courthouse. Now, this list indicates that they've gotten behind on their mortgage, and if they do not get it caught up or rectify, they will get a lawsuit filed against them to foreclose on the property, take it back, and have the lender recoup the monies they loan out against the property. Now, a couple caveats. Getting this list is not hard. It is a public lawsuit. You want to go into the courthouse. Do not ask for pre-foreclosures because there's no such list. You're going to ask for the notice of default or the lis pendens list. These are official notices that the bank is going to enter into a formal lawsuit to sue the borrower to rectify the loan situation. Now, here's the key to it. Obviously, the motivation is smoking high. Like if they do not catch up the mortgage or they do not sell the property, they will lose it. And a lot of times they'll lose whatever equity they have into it, or worse, they could get a judgment for if they owe more than the property's worth, that can follow them around forever. So they are highly motivated. Most realtors can't work through these because they don't understand how to do it. Here's the key, guys. I can't be any clearer on this. You need to catch them in the early stages. What's the early stages? Once they get 2 to 3 months behind, you want to catch them right there or just slightly a month or two after that, which put them at most 4 to 5 months behind. Why? Because those are the homeowners that want to rectify the situation and they do not like the idea of a foreclosure hanging over their head. It affects their credit. It's an undetermined time how long their family can live there. And honestly, it scares most people. I'm going to tell you, a lot of people in this position, after 3-4 months behind, they bury their head in the sand. They're like, I'm not paying a mortgage. I'm basically living in a house for free. I don't think they're going to do anything with me. And I'm just going to ignore it. And typically, if you can't catch them early, they'll wait till the very end. When their house goes up for auction, they have a final judgment against them. The sharks are circling around their house. And that's when every investor attacks them. Here's the problem. At the end, there's not a lot of options. You usually have to involve a lawyer. You're going to have to stop the sale. And at that time, there's usually very little money because there's been so many late fees and penalties and lawyer fees add up that a lot of these properties are already upside down at this point and they're not even worth pursuing. Not every one of them, but that's why if you catch them in the beginning, not as many investors, realtors try to help out in the beginning because they don't think they're going to be motivated enough. Honestly, find the ones that truly want to help them out in the beginning and let them know I can give you options if we make a decision early. If you wait till the end, I'm very limited and we're usually going to have to hire an attorney, which is going to be an additional expense to you. Why not give you options when you can move, intacting your dignity, giving you choices, and especially if you have children. These people need our help. Pre-foreclosures are very powerful. Just try to catch them early. Remember, this is a public list. Go and get it at your courthouse. A lot of times you can get these lists online. Coming in at number 4 is the tax delinquency. These are people who get behind on their property taxes. And this happens a lot more than you think. Now, some people that put down very little tiny money actually have their property taxes and their insurance tied up in their mortgage payment, which only puts more pressure on a pre-foreclosure when they get behind on those payments. But some people have the ability to pay their property taxes towards the end of the year. If they don't pay it, then the property taxes get funded by having investors buy a tax certificate and they get paid back an interest rate. They're basically a lien holder. A lot of people think you can buy and steal properties doing this way. You can't because they get sold at public auction. So the money is finding people 2 years behind on their property taxes because if they don't rectify the situation, their house will go to a foreclosure auction and it'll be bidded off to the highest bidder and they can basically lose their house, everything that's going on with it. Same thing as a pre-foreclosure. The property taxes have to be paid. Now, how do you get this list is the critical question. And usually this is going to be at your county level. So a lot of times the Department of Motor Vehicles will be tied into it. The building permits will be tied into it, and you need to find it at the county level. Sometimes this is tied into the tax collector's building. It just depends on what state you are and how they do it. So you can easily figure this out before you do it. What you want to do is get this list. It's usually in a CSV file. And when you get this list, it's not the easiest list to get. You want to sort that list based on people that are 2 years behind. Take the average median price, which is usually going to be what we call the TAV, tax assessed value, which is typically going to be 20, 25% lower than the real value of the property. And I want you to exclude out any properties above the average median price. Why? Because those people typically do not work with wholesalers. In my 21 years experience, I've never bought $1 million house off of the tax delinquency list. So sort down the average value. You can use the TAV, and also sort out properties owned by the county. Those are usually a waste. That means nobody wanted to buy the property and the county took it back. That means you probably can't build on it. There's no value on it, or there's massive problems with the actual dirt and the soil, and you want to avoid those. Once you get that, just reach out to them. Once again, you can go by and do reverse driving for dollars. You can do a texting message. Cold calling you can try. They're not that easy to get a hold of it. And don't even send direct mail because they don't look at it. Guys, it's obvious that people choose not to want to not pay their property taxes, but once they get 2 years behind, they typically have a high probability of selling the property. Why not help them out? And honestly, you're better off to attack them while they're on the tax delinquency list as opposed to a tax deed sale. That's when it goes out to the public and you're going to have to outbid someone. And you know my strategy in wholesaling. I don't outbid anyone. I buy the properties for the best price I can and help out the homeowner. That's what a great wholesaler does. So use the tax delinquency list. Once again, you're going to have to overcompensate with niceness. Use your rapport building skills we teach over at freewholesaling.com and go get these lists at the county level. Coming in number 5, which is my absolute favorite one, is going to be probates. I love probates. This is basically when somebody passes away. It is the court appointed system of making sure the deceased person's final financial affairs get wrapped up according to their will. Now, some people die with a will, die without a will. If you want to learn more about this, go to freewholesaling.com. The reason why the probate's so powerful is they appoint what they call a PR, which stands for personal representative, or an executor. This person is usually appointed in the will, and it's usually the most responsible person of the family. And once they're designated this power, they have the same obligations and the same powers as the deceased person to sell the property. Let me let you in a little secret. A lot of these people don't want the properties because they have mortgages on them. They have to pay the utilities. They have to pay the property taxes and the insurance. And most of them need repairs. And here's the really cool part. A lot of these properties are vacant with out-of-state personal representatives. So when they want to sell the property and they just want to get the cash out of it, which is the reality of probate a lot of times, if you can get that probate list, you are going to have some of the most motivated sellers you'll ever deal with. Now, probates are a little bit slower. It takes some time, but the first thing is, how do I get the list? The easiest way to get the list, it always comes from your county probate level. So whatever county you're in, I do a lot of business in St. Lucie County, so I go to the St. Lucie County probate court, and I went in there and figured out how to do it. So ask for the list, understanding you're going to get some resistance on it, but you have to just keep focusing on getting this list. We overcome resistance with persistence. Once we can get that list, we're going to locate the deceased person's name. We're going to find out if they own property in that county. How do I do that? Just cross-reference to your property appraiser's site to see if John Doe owed property in that county. Once they do that, then the additional document you're looking for on the probate is you're looking for the personal representative's name or executor. Once you have that person, you can skip trace them. It's just a matter of reaching out to them. You can call them. You can send them a piece of mail. I already have a probate letter prepared for you. Just go over to freewholesaling.com. You can text them, but that doesn't work as well. And guys, by using these strategies, you can get some of the highest paid assignment contracts ever. You know why? Number one, probates take some time. So you have time to build your cash buyers list, and you can send cash buyers in there while the property is vacant on a lockbox. That gives you a higher offer. It gives you more time. Guys, these lists are absolutely perfect for beginner wholesalers. You don't need to understand everything about wholesaling, probates, because we teach you over at freewholesaling.com. And remember, I'm going to teach you how to use your title company to answer a lot of the legal paperwork to move around. Your job, your sole job as a wholesaler that seeks probates, is to find probates, get the list of probate leads, find the PRs, find out if the deceased own properties, and connect with them. That is your specialty. That is your highest skill set, because a lot of these deals will earn you a 3 to 4 times higher profit than your regular wholesale assignment deal. Guys, if you're not doing probates, you're massively missing out. And guys, let me give you the biggest disclaimer here. Probates are perfect for brand new wholesalers because of the high profit level and because the ease of use of a property that needs work, that's vacant, with a highly motivated seller. Guys, I love probates. Honestly, my favorite technique technique of all, I would definitely go out and do it. Now that you've stayed to the end, I'm going to give you a bonus one that I don't talk about too much. It's the garage sale list. Like, wait a minute, Rick, am I going to go around and like buy crap at a garage sale? No, you're going to buy the house. And here's how you're going to do it. You don't go to the garage sales. That's an old timer's technique. And honestly, it doesn't work as well anymore. Get a list of all the garage sales. With today's online technology between Craigslist, the Facebook marketplace, and all the publications you can do online with social media, you can easily find all the garage sales for the next few weeks in your area. Get a list from that, find out what the address is, and cross-reference it and see if you have absentee owners. Once you know it's an absentee owner, that means that it's a landlord. They have a renter in there. Here's the secret, guys. A lot of these people are moving out very quickly. They're selling stuff a lot of times they're not supposed to be doing, and they've yet to inform the landlord. But even if they have informed the landlord, that means there's going to be transition. And whenever there's transitions on a landlord-owned property, there's opportunity for you, the wholesaler, to buy it. So what I'm going to simply do is reach out and cold call. I'm going to skip trace that number. If you don't have an account there, go to xleads.com. You can skip trace the owner's phone number and just call them and say, listen, I have interest in buying this property. I noticed there was a garage sale, and here's the real secret to it. A lot of times you are telling the landlord a piece of information they don't know. They don't know that their tenant's moving out and having a garage sale. So you've caught them by surprise. You've given valuable intel. You've given them a leg up on it, and that will give you a competitive advantage over any other wholesale in that market. Guys, it works. I've done it. It doesn't matter what county you're in, it works. Now remember, you want to deal with the owner, not the tenant, because the tenant does not want to disclose it to the owner 9 times out of 10. So guys, if you can get this list, cross-reference it, is extremely powerful. The best way to do is cold call or to text on that list. So guys, listen, if you got value from these 6 lists I gave that any beginner can jump on, do me a favor, make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button so other people can find out the truth on how to become a great wholesaler. Guys, this is Rick Ginn, and I'll see you in the next video.